Let us maintain that the national government must put enough money for those bursaries, and if you want to do it, you must be given that money as a conditional grant.
I agree completely.
Why would you give a donor to a service provider instead of controlling the funding yourself? Because this thing you call food for education, by the way, is very attractive to any donor.
It was the donors.
So long as they know it is ring-fenced for that purpose.
Yeah.
But if you start spreading, it means you'll be looking for donors, and your service providers will be looking for donors, and you will meet. You will meet on the table of the donor.
Yeah.
And I'm saying this because this is not the only donor you have. You can have Safaricom doing something, you can have all the others who are doing their social responsibility can also do the same. So why are we diverting it? I'm worried because in arid lands, some counties are giving free food 100%. And we have met governors here who give free food 100% to children in ECD. The reason they have partners. The minute the partners think they are giving money to a service provider, they will run away from even the Nairobi good thing.
We're going to resume, and it's good for me using this platform to tell the parents of Nairobi that our program is resuming for bursaries and scholarships.
On top of that, page 4, I'm seeing the beneficiary ECD centers is 31 public ECD centers. Do you mean, because that one you're throwing me off balance, I'm seeing you have 230 public ECD centers. What does that mean? Does it mean these 31 are the only...
The standalone. The question was a standalone. But it's actually 231, the ones which are within our primary schools.
No, I'm looking at beneficiary because I'm following up. It's about food.
Yeah.
Page 4 on top, we are discussing food, and the beneficiary is 31. Is it that the 31 are the ones that you're feeding only?
How many? 230 schools. Then this must be an error. But remember, I explained it is only 31 ECD centers that are on their own, that are not within a primary school.
Why would you give a donor to a service provider instead of controlling the funding yourself? Because this thing you call food for education, by the way, is very attractive to any donor.
It was the donors.
So long as they know it is ring-fenced for that purpose.
Yeah.
But if you start spreading, it means you'll be looking for donors, and your service providers will be looking for donors, and you will meet. You will meet on the table of the donor.
Yeah.
And I'm saying this because this is not the only donor you have. You can have Safaricom doing something, you can have all the others who are doing their social responsibility can also do the same. So why are we diverting it? I'm worried because in arid lands, some counties are giving free food 100%. And we have met governors here who give free food 100% to children in ECD. The reason they have partners. The minute the partners think they are giving money to a service provider, they will run away from even the Nairobi good thing.
Chair, now that we have the regulations, they can provide for that direct funding to us. That time there were no regulations. We've now published those regulations. And at that point, it was the funders, wish to actually support this NGO. You see, the service provider is not like a vendor; it's actually an NGO, that attracts such funding. Now that we have regulations, all support to Dishina County will be coming to the county government. Chair, that will be neater, and I agree with the suggestion. It will actually be neater and easier for us to account for it, and to say for sure this amount has been used in this manner. Chair, that one I take your advice. There are results they have come up as a result of government not performing or not delivering to the people and not providing. If you go to the ministry says they don't recognize them. They don't recognize them. You cannot do an exam in that upgrade school. And so I agree on the need for specific policy around the informal upgrade schools, but the correlation of the number of schools in the informal settlements may not necessarily reflect how many of the children in informal settlements are in our schools. Because you find in every informal settlement in Nairobi, neighbors semi-affluent or affluent area. So I'm really open to engage, because we've had public participation sessions with the people in the informal settlements. I go there sometimes, and just listen. And my team does it. In fact, some we do there, some we bring them to Charter Hall when we want a more structured meeting with organizations. We don't do it in the informal settlement, we bring them. Because if you go there, then the discussion moves from what you've gone to discuss on education and becomes Omaji, and there are many other, pressing needs at the same time.
I happen to be on the Nairobi delegation, much as I'm Kisumu, not Kisumu Rural, Kisumu Nyakach. I would want us to take the governor seriously on that point. And Governor, I am happy with whoever else, as the committee may plan, for us as this committee to sit with you, if you allow, and your technical team, for us to be able to assist on what it will look like to have a county policy, particularly around the informal settlements. They are also coming up in cities like Kisumu and Mombasa. I think it would help to resolve a big issue, not just for Nairobi, but for the country. I would be happy as a human rights person and a member of this committee, chair, with your permission later, to be able to move on.
In terms of what moves from the ministry to cities that have informal settlements, because it's a big problem. And remember, you will not solve the issue because you create a vicious cycle. A child who is born in that environment and then does not go to school properly, and then grows up and also then has a child, you're just creating a vicious cycle that replicates in our cities. And it's a ticking time bomb, Chair.
Governor, there's an organization which we met some days back, African Population Health and Research Center, which have done a lot of research on that area, and they say they are working with the county government of Nairobi. So I don't know whether you are aware of that.
I know HRC, we're doing a lot of policy work with them. Additionally to that, by the way, when you talk about early childhood, many people think early childhood is just about school. The interventions needed for children start from conception. And we're working with Big Win Philanthropies together with the HRC to look at the nutrition of the mother, the training of the parental training during pregnancy. And it's a program that started, it's been done in Addis Ababa, and I've seen how they've done it. Facilities for children to play, because what happens between age 0 and 2 becomes irreversible in many cases, even if you do now the classrooms at ACD.
As a former senator or a senator, I expect on the matters of bursary, you would be helping the COG to move in the right direction. There is no function called social protection for counties. Social protection is like social welfare, security, and social protection includes housing, health, education. So we cannot say education for purposes of governance will become social protection in order for you to implement. So for those of you who are, let us maintain that national government must put enough money for those bursaries, and if you want to do it, you must be given that money as a conditional grant.
I agree completely.
Thank you, Senator Muma. Let's move, please.
Yeah,
Vice Chair, you are done. You are led first, Vice Chair.